Hey y'all, how are you? It's Burgess Taylor, or Journeying with Burgess. You might want to grab you a cuppa because I tend to be a bit chatty, and this is going to cover quite a bit. So it's probably going to be a little bit of a long one. Grab you a cuppa. Needed that. It's a rainy, gray day. I'm going to start with the ones that I'm not in all that often. These two are Hobonichi Day Free, and they're in cloth covers. This is Selena's, and this is Victor's. This is David's. Now this one is a notebook from Documented Journey by Bree. I've captured quite a bit of things in it. This is my regular one. It's not always chronological. It's depending on what I'm doing, but he loves it. He's excited about it. I don't do a lot of journaling in that one. I just do usually like a paragraph or a quote, a picture, and a little note. And Victor and Selena's, I sometimes write them little letters. I sometimes document what we've done together. I'm a bit behind with both of theirs from last year, and that's where this comes in. This is my Hobonichi 5-year A6. I got it for 2021. Now I am missing a few bits from 2021, especially around April, because after my brother died at the end of March, I didn't do some journaling for a while. I did document things, like here's the ticket stub from last year when I flew back from Indiana when I visited my cousin. I can find one that has a bit of some journaling, some watercolor or something. Here is a picture of Universal Studios. This is me, and that got faded or something with the sling for my arm. I made meatballs. My husband had asked for them at Thanksgiving and then again at Christmas, and they didn't get made, so I made them for him on the 5th. That was a bagel. I put the bagel in there because I had made myself a bagel for lunch with a tomato and some spinach and a fried egg, and I think I had some ham, and on the very, very top it had cheese sprinkled on the top, melted. Selena was with me, and she ate part of my lunch, and all she wanted was the cheese off the top. Those pages over to the right for something special, but everything is special when you have grandkids and family members and stuff. So this one I'm in usually every evening before I go to bed. Not every single evening, but I'm trying this year to do much better with it than I did last year. The other ones that I'm not in all the time. This is my personal and private journal planner. I can plan out personal things like therapy appointments, which I put in the regular thing, but if I'm doing something like I'm also doing finance tracking, here is January and here is February. And then back here, this is this week. I'm doing self-care stuff in here, and I haven't put anything, but I'm going to. I'm also using the Hobonichi Weeks as an everyday carry, but it's more of a planner. I think I put that in the planner video, but if I didn't, it's just a regular Hobonichi Weeks, and I'm just putting down regular bits when I'm out and about. That stays in my purse. So this is a Pebble Stationery Co. It's a undated insert, and it is a dot grid. I really am happy with it. It's Tomo River paper. I love it. And then this is the 200-page dot grid insert from Pebble Stationery Co. I do a bit of more personal journaling and keeping up with things that are self-care oriented, like, trackers. I didn't do so well at the end. I've got it elsewhere. But one of the things that I noticed, this is a book that was recommended to me by my therapist. I'm going to write some notes about it. And then 2022 starts here, and I need to fill in a few things, but as you can see, I don't do this every day. I usually go in this once or twice a week, or sometimes once every other week or whatever, and I'll go in and I'll fill in things. I do stuff whenever I do self-care things. Let's get to some of the other ones that I'm not in all the time. This is my Commonplace journal, and I am putting things like recipes, notes from books. This was notes about a show, a documentary that David and I watch about Alcatraz. This was a recipe. This was some notes to myself about the month of December and more information right there. some notes from the bullet journal method, which I'm rereading again for, I don't know, the 5th or 6th time. This is where I want to put my recipe for banana nut bread. I made it not long ago, but I didn't write the recipe down, and I meant to. This is where I journaled about my planners and journals for 2022. As you can see, there's a big X. I have that cover, not using what's in it, and I talked about that in the planner video. This is my spiritual stuff, which I will get to. There's what the weeks looks like if you're interested. And I changed this cover, so that's what I'm using here. And I will, if you would like to see a video about my more spiritual stuff, this one is what I just showed you. The Traveler's Company 10 for my self-care. That's this one. So these two, and then I have another one, which I didn't put in here, and I should have put in here, are my spiritual notebooks. And we can go over that. And I chronicle like books that I'm reading. 4-Hour Work Week, The Life's Companion. This is where I'm chronicling some information about the project that I'm doing about creative journaling. I've been trying to wrap my head around the thoughts. And what I wanted to do in here, this is my Commonplace journal. So it's a reference book. So if I need to reference a recipe, if I need to reference my palette, this is what is in this Van Gogh palette, which is new. And I am going to do a video about that. We're going to do a journal with me using it. But I swatched it. I listed the things. So this is Gonzai Tambi watercolors. These are the Pretty Excellent watercolors. And I just, I have information about creative journaling. And that may or may not change. And if it changes, then I can put a reference to where it changes. Because that's what the index paper's for. And I stuck this in here for now because I need to remember something about that. I'm in this probably a few times a month if I need to put something in there to reference. This is my journal, art journal. I'm not in this all the time. I am recording things because I do the daily pages in my Hobonichi Cousin, and I do a little bit of writing in the A6. So this is whenever I want to document something in particular. So this is before and after. I've been working in the studio. As you can tell, there's some differences. I'm still working on some things. I got a new thermos, and it has this button that you press, and you can't get coffee out of the top of it unless you press that button. David and I went to Florida. This was meatballs. This was a bit of poetry that I wrote about anxiety. This was summing up the week from the 1st through the 8th, the Chandler Halderson trial. And I need to write that here because what keeps happening is that whenever I go to reference this or I look at it, because I put Mitchell first, that was his brother, and that's what I journaled about. I felt so bad for him when he was testifying. He's lost his parents, pretty much lost his brother, to have to testify. It's just, I felt so very bad for him. He just so very bad. He looked so sad. So this was chronicling some things. This was chronicling current events. I was going to use the A6 for current events. At least 34 people were rescued after they became stranded on a floating chunk of ice in Green Bay. So this is some of the stuff that was going on in the news. Like the actor from Full House, Bob Saget, died from America's Funniest Home Videos. So this was Tuesday, and I was doing some of the stuff for Patreon. I was chatting stuff, and this was doing some watercolor, and I was checking out something, and I did that here. I think I've got a picture to go here, but my Zip quit working, and my Canon Ivy quit working. So yeah, I need a new one. I've got to go find my photo paper and use the collage thing on my phone, the app, and print some pictures on from my regular printer. This is my personal and spiritual growth notebook. So it's just like my me, myself, and I notebook. I wanted a vibe from it, and I set it up in a certain way so that it would have that vibe. And this is a different kind of vision board. This is about mindfulness, being in the moment, being present, an attitude of gratitude. So I set this up with a vibe in mind. Very relaxed, very chill, very positive, very calm. My word of the year is in here. I've got some of the tarot cards that I pulled for the year. This is some journaling that I did at the beginning of the year. I don't need an inspirational quote. I just need coffee. And this is where 2022 starts. So we've got January, and what I'm working on, my mind, body, spirit, life, work, home. Act as if what you do makes a difference. It does. Learn who you are and learn who they told you to be. Re-examine all you have been told. Dismiss what insults your soul. And this says create. It says nurture your creative energy. And my theme for January was C.S. Lewis's The Chronicles of Narnia, The Light, and some pine trees, and just January, cold month. Winter, a light in the storm. So that was a tarot card. This was some journaling. This is some more journaling. This was the new moon. This was my intentions for 2022. Some more journaling and another tarot card, and I need to put the full moon stuff in here. I've not gotten to yet, and the tarot card from that. So it's a combination journal, and this is for me, like, I'm learning the tarot, so I have a journal for tarot where I'm learning it, where I'm writing facts and stuff like that. This is all more creative, more about my spiritual and personal. It's about my intuition. It's about following my inner compass. It's about synchronicities. I'm sorry, you're going to hear a truck out there. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. Probably one of the neighbors. It is the neighbors. This is we're going to call it my art journal or my sketch journal, because I am doing stuff every now and again in here. This is Tomo River paper. This is a Nanami paper 7Cs crossfield cut down to B6. I will be doing stuff in here as I want to. Sometimes it'll be something that really interests me. Sometimes it'll be what I'm actually journaling, for a day. But I'm doing art in a number of places, like in a sketchbook, in my bullet journal, in the Hobonichi Cousin. I wanted a place where I didn't have to write down anything, where I could just draw in watercolor. And like you saw in this one, I put pictures and stickers and collage bits and stuff like that. And this one, I'm not. This is my journal. I'm calling this my art journal. Or my sketch journal is actually what it should be called, because I'm doing sketches and watercolors and stuff in it. I doubt very seriously if I do any collage or anything like that at all. And if I put a picture in, it will just be a picture for reference. I'm going to leave the bullet journal for last, because that's the one that people are really interested in a way, the Hobonichi. So this is my morning pages journal. This is just a Moleskine lined, and I had started it by doing some stuff for January that was more creative. I was going to chronicle the project in here, and it worked great for collage. I mean, it will hold watercolor and it really wrinkles. But one of the things that I noticed, and I've journaled on it, this is actually mixed media paper that I journaled on and put it in here. One of the things that I noticed, because I was going to do, this is going to be an example when I do the creative journaling. When I was doing this watercolor, these are the Schminke and the Daniel Smith watercolors, it makes the watercolor look weird. Even the really good watercolor, it makes it look splotchy, like pilled, like the paper is pilling. Yeah, so anyway, I'm doing morning pages on it now. I switched, and I also have a composition notebook. This is my actual sketchbook that I'm using for the studio, and I did a bit of a vision board on the front of it. I collaged some things. Find work that uplifts you, and only you can know what that is. This is a poem by Byron. I have some things in here that are aimed specifically at creative journaling. This is going to be a prompt that I want to do at the end of January. This is something that I did, and this is from 2018. So I'm going to get to why I have some things in here that I have in here. This is some older work. This is some newer work. And this is from 2018 as well. These are some things that I did last year in the When Frogs Sing class, and I never got to the rest of them. So I'm going to find some places that I really want to visit and put them somewhere, and then I'm going to find some places that I have been and put them, and I'll put gold stars by the places I have been to. So this is my sketchbook, and this is the composition notebook, and I had started this back in June. 2020 and 2021 were this is 2020 now, mind you. This is June of 2020s when I started this, and I was doing studio stuff in here. And it is a composition notebook. It is a grid composition notebook. This is gouache, 2 different gouaches. This was a palette that I had set up. It's my little black palette that has the sticker that Brie made with the compass on it. I still have colors in there. I just don't have all of these in there anymore. And this is my Caran d'Ache pan of gouaches. I have a bunch of different gouaches. I took pictures of things. I'm going to cover this with something, and that's where I'm at with this. So I'm restarting this. That's where this is. That's what this thing is, and it's going to be 2022, and that's all this is a composition notebook. Okay, we're almost there. And where am I at? Okay, I'm doing okay for time. Even with interruption from the neighbors, and I'm sorry to rush through it. It's just that I know these are going to take more time. Oh, and I have this little B6 insert that I found, and I'm debating, but I just kind of stuck the insert over to the side because I had started doing some creative stuff in this about the actual subject of creative journaling in here. And I had written some stuff down, brainstorming, mind mapping, and all kinds of things. So I put washi here to separate it and put the calendar for January and the ideas. I don't know. I thought about taking these pieces out and putting them in the composition book, because this is from 2021, whereas the other one was from 2020. And I was thinking, well, if I'd have both 2020 and 2021 in the front of that composition notebook to start 2022 with. So I may just stick this with that and put it in there, and the edge, I don't know. Okay, so this is, well, it's a new cover for me. First of all, I wanted this to go with this. I would love to have had this in the A5 as well. Beautiful colors. I am so sorry for the glare, but the plastic is gonna glare. I love them. I love them. And I love the little bird one, and I'm still trying to figure out, I might alternate the little bird. I don't know what I'm gonna do in the front. I have done some things. I am writing some things out. I could actually throw this in my purse to go with the Hobonichi weeks if I were going to go out of town and I didn't have the room or the space to have all the rest of the things. I could actually take this and the Hobonichi weeks together, and I would have more than enough to do some journaling and to do some planning in if space was limited, y'all. Maybe I could take this or that, the bullet journal or this, along and take the three. I started out, I was going to make it a bullet journal. I wrote my word of the year and some goals I wanted to work on. David and I were out. We were on the road going to Florida on the 1st of January. Started this, and then over the weekend I kind of stopped. I can fill it back in, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm going to do it elsewhere. I kind of did this, and then I was like, no, I don't think, this is not, I don't know. So I was doing some journaling, debating on what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it. Did I want to use this as a bit of collage? Did I want to just do a little bit of, what did I want really to do? Because what I originally planned to do with it wasn't really working. I wasn't doing current events. I was actually doing other stuff, and I didn't want it as a bullet journal. It just, A6 is not a good size for me for a bullet journal. I write too much, and I'm too long-winded with that, and my handwriting's too big. I went to doing a bit of journaling. I had a bit of to-dos, and this was still in the bullet journaling mode. And then I was like, by about the 14th of last week, I was like, that's it, I'm done. I did put 2 important things that were up there that were on that day. I put what was going on important up here, and up here I need to write the rest of the 17th, or I may just put a picture. This was Tuesday, Wednesday, this is today, and that is tomorrow. And I'm kind of logging things as they happen throughout the day, or at the end of the day. I'm doing a little bit of journaling. I don't think I'm really going to do a lot of the collage or this kind of journaling. I think for the most part, it's going to end up being this, where I write. Now I may, because like I said, I was switching, and I may end up putting a picture here. I might every now and again put a picture or draw something every now and again, especially if I need to use it as a journal. Okay, so this is the Hobonichi Cousin, and it is a combination planner journal. That's my word of the year. This is my actual tracker. So I've been in it and using it in a wonderful, wonderful way, tracking the big things that I need to do. This was all house stuff. I didn't really do any work stuff. The bullet journal has home and work in it, but this one, I'm pretty, like, I list a tiny bit of work stuff, usually on the daily or the weekly pages, but I don't really list much work stuff on the calendar unless it's something that's really going to stand out. I need to scan something and put it here for February's. I went ahead and put stickers for the holidays and stuff like that, and around certain things that were going on. So I started playing around with it. That was part of Selena's Christmas present, a princess potty. She's potty training, and that's her sleeping. This is a picture of Orlando at night. Man, the people were walking around Universal Studios with these huge turkey legs, and they smelled and looked so good. That's Universal Studios. As you can see, I'm doing all different kinds of things in here. This was last week, and I actually have some pictures to put in here. I haven't printed them. I didn't write down everything because I had some pictures. This is this week. We're right here, and I have a little thing I want to put here and a little thing I want to put here. I have a picture to put here and a little thing to put there. I've got it somewhere. I've got to find it. If I have something going on that's specific, I have it over to the side, and I have put in a few little things here and there to celebrate holidays or birthdays. And this is actually my vision board. I have things from newspaper, magazines, books that I have used that, like, I either got like at thrift stores or that I've had forever and that are like maybe falling apart, and I cut things out of them. This is just a combination of all kinds of things and a few things that I printed. And then these are the list of my January projects. Like I said, in each month this will change. So this is where January starts. Great things are not done by impulse, but by a series of small things brought together. Vincent van Gogh. I finished Stephen King's book, Billy Summers, on the way Saturday to Florida. This was where we took pictures. This was some journaling that I did about creative journaling. This was a studio day. This was a before picture because I have some of the after pictures, and I did a coffee chat. My anxiety was kind of acting up that day. I was talking about the ring light and how I needed to adjust some things in here. It feels so much better in here now that that chair is open and I can sit in it. I will very soon do a coffee chat in that chair. That chair is specifically for me to sit and read, or sit and journal, and to do coffee chats with. Like, I've got some stuff moved, but we're not quite there yet. I've got to readjust some stuff with the background. And these, I was not feeling very good. I had class, we had dinner, like, I've been in a lot of pain. David made dinner this day. This was a bad day. I really didn't do much because I was in such bad pain. So then we get to Wednesday, Thursday, and I started doing more. I've been back and forth with this as the planner. I've been doing more home, but it has become my planner. It's a combination planner journal. So as you can see, it's got planning. It's got some journaling for the planning. This was yesterday, which I have to update, and the journaling part. And this is today's, which I need to put this stuff down. But I knew what I was doing, and it's in, like, I think I've got it in the bullet journal. So I only put the 5 important things. I did do a bunch of things on this day because I had a huge amount of things that I needed to do and was debating. But now that I've finished setting up the bullet journal and I can divvy things up, I won't need to put all of this. Friday and Saturday were very busy days for me, and they were very productive. Sunday was more of a relaxed bed day because, one, our power kept going on and off, and it went off for quite a while. Not like a really long time, but it was so wishy-washy going in and out that there was no way I could have done like a upload or anything. I didn't really do any planning here because there wasn't any planning to do. We had a storm. So I'm getting there. I'm finding my way with this Hobonichi, and it feels really good. I like where I'm headed with it. I don't know that I'm going to put a whole lot of collage in here anymore. I don't think I'm going to. I think the thing that I'm going to be doing is putting a few pictures here or there, and mostly doing journaling and some art. This is the Hobonichi. Now, when I originally had this set up, I had gotten 2 of these notebooks. It's the endless recorder. One of them is dot grid and one of them is squared. And when they come, I saved this so that I could show you. They come with a little bag. They have 2 bookmarks. They are 68 GSM Tomoe River paper. Now, if you've been following me for a very long time, you know that I, for the longest time, was using Taroko Design, Enigmas, and Breezes for my bullet journal, for my journal, for my art journal, for everything. But once COVID hit and the way the mail was running and everything, I went to using something that was more stateside. When I found these on Amazon, I was like, 68 GSM, because I love 68 GSM. So let's talk about the features. It's 0 bleed through, squared page layout. This one is dot grid. 187 numbered pages, 16 perforated sheets in the back, table of contents, expandable inner pocket, 2 page markers, and it is a A5. It is a hard but kind of cushiony leatherette. It says this is a notebook that loves ink. Y'all, it's acid free. Okay, it's called the world's most ink-friendly notebook. One of the things that I really liked about it when I got it, and you'll see it, they give you a little thank you card. And in the little thank you card, they give you an ID so you can register your notebook, and they give you this sticker that says ideas are endless, which I'm going to put right back here in my little pocket. And this one, like I said, this is grid. And now I like grid. The Hobonichi Cousin, the Hobonichi Weeks, the Hobonichi A6 are all grid. The Stylogy is grid, except for these new ones that they came out, and I think they have a blank and a dot grid now. My composition notebook, one of them is grid. I'm okay with grid, especially if you're talking for a bullet journal. This is going to be my next bullet journal. I guess I should show you. They're pretty much the same. I think this one has a black and a blue. Yeah, this one has a black and a blue ribbon marker, and my other one has, I think, a blue and a red. As you can see, this one is the grid. It's got the blue. This is the red one. I have the sticker on the front. Ideas are endless. And the way this one has the turquoise blue band, just like this one, turquoise blue band, and it has a red and a blue bookmark. So I'm going to show you the bullet journal, because originally I didn't plan on using this as a bullet journal. It was not to be, but the way that I ended up setting it up ended up being a bullet journal. Notes to self. Notice the details. There's inspiration to be found everywhere just by being in the world. And he defended his orderly mess by, and then I left it blank because it just depends on the day. This has some goals listed, and then this is my key. The dots are the squares, either or. I know what it is. You are more than your job title. Your contribution extends well beyond a list of bullet points. And I started this in this journal, and I should have known the minute that I put that in there, it was actually going to end up being the bullet journal. But originally it was going to be like goals and projects and notes to myself and stuff like that. Kind of keep it all in one place. Sometimes when I'm in a big important international meeting and you see me writing stuff down, it might be that I'm just drawing Barack Obama. So I have some watercolor stuff here. These are Q1, and I'm going to put what all got done at the end of January. This was, I don't know, I thought about it afterwards. If you're setting up a bullet journal and you're setting it up for January and you're not going to be using it in December, why would you need a future log for January when you're in that month, when it's that current month? I don't know. So anyway, this is my future log, and it's 6 months, because I doubt very seriously if this journal lasts 6 months, but we'll see. So this is the projects. Like I said, originally this was going to be the manage the projects, and I have kind of color coded them, and you can see, like, I've got one section here for the spiritual journaling stuff. This is more of the creative journaling, and then we get to January, and I have a quote by C.S. Lewis. Now, if you remember, C.S. Lewis was the lamp post from C.S. Lewis and the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. I love that scene, because January is all about, it's about passages and the doorway to a new beginning, to a fresh start. So anyway, that's why I chose The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobes, the doorway, the passageway between the wardrobe and Narnia. That lamppost is what represented the culmination of that. So anyway, We must stop regarding unpleasant or unexpected things as interruptions of real life. The truth is that interruptions are real life. So I have this, you can see, vellum. I have just a coffee cup for January with some pink and some blue and some little bit of red and purple. And then here is January. And I kept it with the cold, and I have the little lamppost with a gnome. Can you see the lamppost? Yeah. I love gnomes. You can see gnomes in my background. So I wanted a little winter gnome with the lamppost. Why not? There could be gnomes in Narnia. So this is what I put up here. We have let it snow with the snow and the pine trees like in Narnia. These are creative journaling things, and these are the spiritual personal growth, and that's where I put things down, doing some journaling about how journaling has helped me. This was quite a bit more journaling. This is the pause potential, the power of the pause. I did a coffee chat about that for Patreon. These were some prompts for the power of the pause and for January in general, because like I said, I'm doing this personal and spiritual and creative journaling kind of growth. I'm recording it in journals, but it's all about personal, creative, and spiritual growth. So this is about mindfulness, and I did some mindfulness stuff and I talked about it. And then this is walking, and how walking changes things, chronicling some of the days that I walked. Like I have more, and I'll do some more feet, and then maybe I'll write like a quote or something. This is meditation. I've been working on meditation. I'm doing specific things sometimes whenever I have something to say about it. I'm going to journal about that part about the meditation. One of the things that I have found to be very helpful is meditative music, helpful right before I go to sleep, or whenever I'm trying to take a pause and meditate. I found that to be very helpful in those headphones, and either listen to an Audible book or a podcast or a documentary or the meditation app. Listen to one of those. And this is reading, so you get like lost in a good book. That is a really great pause kind of thing. For me, it's very helpful. So I wrote down some of the books. I need to watercolor the ones I've actually read. I might do the marker. Y'all, should we do the marker or should I do the actual watercolor? I think we'll do the watercolor really quick. This is going to be, I really shouldn't because I don't have a lot of time, but hopefully when I go to edit this. And I'm just going to color them in when I read them. And I can put more books here. I read The Outsider, and The Outsider was sort of, it's a gray color. So we're going to do gray. And I am currently reading Mistborn, which has a little bit of a blue, red kind of thing. So we're going to do this. I've started Brené Brown's. I don't know why, but I kind of think of a green. There's more, but we'll get to those. So I wanted to chronicle reading. And then the last one is the coffee breaks. And I've actually done more than a few of them. I'm going to do one tomorrow. And this is my January task. So this was where I was answering some questions about creative journaling. This was thinking about some of the supplies. And when I first heard about creative journaling and what I thought about it back then versus what I think about it now. And if I were to watch a video back then, but based on what I know now, and I wanted to tell myself back then what I really needed to know about creative journaling, about like Hobonichi kind of journaling, traveler's notebook kind of journaling, what would I tell myself? And that's what I've been journaling about in this, and kind of doing some examples of things. Why do you love journaling? Why do you journal? I have some questions to answer. This is where I think I originally did this, and then I put it in the other one, or I did it in the other one and then I put it in this one. This is some coffee chat stuff and a quote, some ideas for a more creative year for the year. This is the task for this week. Like I said, I wasn't using this as a bullet journal, so there was no reason for me to, I actually added the tasks as an afterthought. So this is yesterday and today. That's why you're not really going to see a whole bunch of journaling in here, because I haven't been doing a whole lot of stuff. It was originally, like I said, set up to be for my projects. So whenever I did bullet journals before, and even when I was doing this and didn't realize I was doing a bullet journal, I mean, let's face it, I started out this whole thing with a future log. like I said, I started it out with a future log. Think big, go big. But I was thinking more about goals and about projects and stuff like that. As I'm going to continue with this as a bullet journal, I left myself some room because as I do this, today is the 20th. After this weekend, I have one full week left of January. I've started my setup for February. February is the last month of winter. It's originally came from Februarius. It used to be about purification via the purification ritual called Februa, held on February the 15th, when the full moon. In the old lunar calendar, you have a leap year every 4 years. Our next leap year will be 2024, I do believe. So we have Aquarius and Pisces. Pisces starts around the 20th of February and goes into March. And I think Aquarius started around the 20th of January and goes into February. I think that's what it is. I might be off a little on the dates, but flowers for February are violets, primrose, and iris. The birthstone's amethyst, which means piety, humility, spiritual wisdom, and sincerity. We've got National Freedom Day, February National Wear Red Day, President's Day, International Stand Up to Bullies Day, Groundhog's Day, National Tater Tot Day, Rosa Parks Day, National Pizza Day, Lincoln's Birthday, Susan B. Anthony Day, Random Acts of Kindness Day, National Margarita Day, and National Banana Bread Day. February is also the American Heart Month. It's also Grapefruit Month, Hot Breakfast Month, and Black History Month. So I wanted to have like a palette and a theme. So I wrote Sweetheart Gnomes. And I was like, find quotes about February, Valentine's Day, poetry, red, roses, things like that. I have a Melly Gnome. I have a Davy Gnome. February is the shortest month. So if you're having a miserable month, try to schedule it for February. Lemony Snicket. I've got some other quotes. And then we start with February's introduction page. And these are my Mr. and Mrs. Sweetheart Gnomes. David thinks they're absolutely adorable, and I kind of just did me and David kind of as gnomes. David's beard's not that long, though. He's got a goatee. I Gnome You. Happy Valentine's Day, date night. I love this. I just think it's like adorable. Then we get to my log, and I put Gnome Sweet Gnome here. Are about to kiss, it looks like. Happy Valentine's Day, date night. It must be love, 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 love. And then this is self-care, work, love, like self-care, work, self as in personal, and then home. He's giving her a cup of coffee. She's in her little bedroom slippers. They're in their pajamas. And that's it. So let's look back here. These pages, the last pages are perforated. I don't know how easy they come out. But if you needed to use a page to cover something up, if you made a mistake, you could do that. I just cut a little portion of this out. Because I know, and if I need to go bigger, then I'll take a page out. I wanted to keep with a blue, red, purple, pink kind of theme. And I think I pretty well managed that. I kind of mixed things up with the blues and the reds and the pinks. Like this is red and pink. I haven't done any purple yet, but I will. That's it, y'all. I hope that you have enjoyed this. I'm glad to be back. I'm working on getting into a routine where I'm publishing a video or two a week, and then hopefully once or twice a month I'm going to go back to doing some lives. I'm still trying to get some things settled. The studio is apart from the house, and when we have weather out here, and we've had a lot of weather, bad weather out here, when it's raining or really windy, my internet is not so great. It's like for some reason our internet's wonky when we have bad weather, and that's without the power outage. But I wanted to let you know, I hope that you've enjoyed this. I have enjoyed it, and I will see y'all again really soon. Bye y'all. Have a great one.